Hey guys, so Lord here, back in with another action figure review, and today we'll be continuing our looks at the Ben 10 2016 Reboot series figures with good old forearms. Once again, brought to us by the fine folks over at Playmates Toys, and I have to tell you, out of all the figures from this Ben 10 Reboot series, forearms here is the definition of bang for your buck. Considering the fact that we just looked at Accelerate yesterday, check that review out if you haven't already. Really appreciate it if you did. Who seemed a bit lacking, for lack of a better term. This guy more than makes up for it, and kind of gives me the impression that the budget was not divided equally amidst the figures, because, well, you got this guy, you got Accelerate, you got Heat Blast, you got all kinds of shapes and sizes, and you got the Ben figures, which, no, I will not be looking at the Ben figures because they look possessed, they look evil, they look like they might kill me in my sleep, so that's a hard pass. However, I might try to find the Gray Matter minifigure that came out with the first one, because we never got the Omni-Enhanced version, but that's another story for another day. So, without further ado, why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review and take a look-see at all good old Forearms has to offer in terms of accessories. And ironically, he's on his Ghost Rider shiznit because he comes with a chain. And this chain can be broken apart. It's incredibly easy. It barely even stays together. I mean, it can, but 9 times out of 10 it won't. But he comes with 2 of these chain pieces. One of them's a little longer than the other. But you can put him in his hands. I used a hairdryer to get him in mine's hands because I'm a wuss. But other than that, you get a big old honking Forearms figure with a jacked up shoulder. At least on mine, you can see there's probably a little fatigue and wear and tear up here, as well as in his armpit where he literally has some red bleeding through the white there. It's not because the white paint is bad on this figure, it's just mine. The pin was not pushed in all the way on the back here. It's a wonder this thing didn't break. But it's fixed. It's just a little jacked up, which kind of sucks. So I'm probably going to end up replacing this guy. But thankfully, it's not as expensive as the Bandai figures, these Reboot figures. Yeesh. So I'll be able to do that pretty easily. When? I don't know. It's been how many years since I had this one? Probably since 2018, 2019, and I haven't done it yet. So we'll have to wait and see, but as far as articulation on this guy goes, his head can look up and down. Can look side to side. Can tilt a little bit. All of the arms can hinge up, down, rotate all around. Single jointed elbow with rotation, as well as swivel in the wrist. Look at that, Forearms has almost a trigger finger going on. Why? I don't know. And I will say, I like the fact that they made the hinge black to blend in with the stripe on the shirt. It's very clever. Second set of arms, same thing. Hinge up and down, forward and back, single jointed elbow with rotation and swivel at the wrist. I gotta tell you, this is probably one of the best Forearms figures out there, despite the fact it's not like the classic one. It's reminiscent of it, but it's not the same. Because I have the old classic Forearms figure. I got him for Christmas along with Diamond Head and Accelerate, which I didn't mention. My old Accelerate's leg is busted. I gotta fix that too. Slightly more of a challenge compared to fixing this guy, but that's besides the point. But that old Forearms figure, his hands were like permanently like this, like in motorcycle handlebar position, and then the hands on his secondary pair of arms could turn, but his elbows didn't bend. Like, if I'm not mistaken, there wasn't a single Bandai Forearms, other than maybe Omniverse, that had all the articulation and all the arms. And that sucks, because his name is Forearms, not 2 arms that work, 2 arms that don't. That's just stupid. But he can kick forward, kick back. His legs will swivel like this. Again, we're back to the stupid Playmates hips. He has a single jointed knee with swivel and nothing in the feet, but you get a lot as it is. You get articulation in every arm. So, yeah. And surprisingly, due to his top-heavy character design, I thought he was going to be a pain in the arse to stand. He is not. He is very easy to stand, and he is probably one of the standouts, at least from this first wave of Ben 10 2016 Reboot figures. So, with that being said, I think it is time now that we move right along and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here is good old Forearms alongside a couple of other aliens from the Ben 10 2016 Reboot series. We have the also large and in charge Cannon Bolt, as well as the not so large like at all Heat Blast. And, well, this is a bit of a reverse situation from yesterday. Accelerate was the thin piece of meat between a thick piece of bread sandwich, whereas Heat Blast is like that thin piece of bread you get on the end of the loaf that you're forced to use because it's all you got left. And Cannon Bolt's like a double-decker size piece that you're like, where did this come from? Why am I making sandwich analogies? Is this what this channel has come to? I don't know. We're looking at figures that are 10 years old, folks, so you be the judge of that. But as you can see, Forearms is bigger than both of these technically because he weighs more than Cannon Bolt. Because if you watch my Accelerate review from yesterday, you know that he's a little hollow. So, putting him aside, as well as a little Heat Blast here. So we can make way for our two regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibolith. And the infamous 11 Spawn, despite his large stature, good old Forearms here does not hold a candle to the almighty Al Simmons. So with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and despite the fact that my poor Forearms had a quality control issue with his right shoulder that I'll have to remedy with a replacement. Thankfully, these figures don't go for as much as the Bandai Ben 10 figures. Ooh. I will say, as far as this Playmates Toys Ben 10 Reboot line is concerned, good old Forearms here is a prime example of bang for your buck. You get a lot of figure for the same price as Accelerate, we looked at yesterday. They didn't have much to offer, at least not in terms of the figure itself. In terms of accessories, he had a lot more going on, but Forearms here is bang for your buck all day, every day, 7 days a freaking week. And if you want a really nice Forearms figure, look no further. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review. And until next time, catch you guys later.